Let's talk about the new Springfield XD Mod 2 9mm. This one is the threaded barrel edition. And for comparison, we also have a, what is this?
This one is a first generation XD tactical 5-inch barrel gun with an olive drab frame. And he's got the FDE frame on his Mod 2.
This is a 4-inch barrel, by the way.
And, I've had this gun for quite some time. And, when this gun came out, it really was reminiscent to me of my old tactical that I had. And Terry happened to see this one and, well, had to have it.
I've never been a huge fan of Springfield XDs. There's something about the way they feel in my hand. It just doesn't suit me. But the Mod 2, the changes that they made to the grip on this gun, I love it.
Well, as far as, grip-wise, trigger, just the ergonomics of it, it is just a really nice gun. And it borrows a lot from the XDM. The XDM I wasn't a big fan of. I mean, match grade features in anything from a subcompact up to a 5 1/4 inch barrel. 5 1/4 inch barrel, 4 1/2 inch barrel, expect match quality stuff. But the price is right on these. It's around the same price as what a standard XD still is, which I have the feeling they're going to, totally do away with the standard XDs altogether. It's what I've been told. The Mod 2 has just, with this whole backstrap configuration and the way they've done their finger grooves here, I guess when it comes down to it, they're kind of going by the way of Glock in following ergonomics and so on. The older gun just, had the standard, kind of a checkered front strap and back strap, and not uncomfortable, but maybe a little unwieldy compared to the Mod 2.
This is almost like a rough stippling. It's not like it's like tear your hand up rough, but I mean, you don't get any slippage or anything whenever you're shooting this gun. It shoots exceptionally well. It also comes from the factory with suppressor height sights, and as we said a while ago, the threaded barrel with a thread protector.
And it's threaded half 28 also, so most all your 9mm suppressors and so on will fit on there just fine.
Same with the magazines. The XD Mod 2 comes with 2 magazines, and I believe these are compatible with the other XDs.
They're exactly the same. There's no difference between the first generation magazines and those. There's 16 rounds or 15. There were 15 and 16 rounds when these first came out. Actually, when it first came out, there were 10 rounders because of the crime bill. But there were 15 and 16 rounders, but regardless, the same magazines fit either gun.
And it's an ambidextrous magazine release.
Yes, it is. That's something they did. They followed through with the first generation XDs from what they've got here. Still has a grip safety on there, which it is a little more positive. They've changed just a very, very little bit with that grip safety, but it seems as if you don't even realize it's there with the Mod 2, where there was a definite feel with the original XD frame. The addition of the suppressor sights on this gun, and actually the sights on the Mod 2 itself, they're excellent sights. They've got a fiber optic front sight on the other Mod 2s. Of course, with these suppressor sights, they're just steel front and rear and 3-dot. With these, very low profile sights, but they're very minimalistic and very small dots. Almost 1911 esque, as small as they are. They're serviceable, sights, and the gun shoots well, but it just seems like you got a hell of an upgrade with the Mod 2 compared to what you did with the XD.
And they do make the Mod 2 in other sizes. There's an XDS Mod 2.
The subcompact, actually.
Yeah, it's not actually the XDS because it's wider. And isn't it double stack as well?
Yes, yeah.
It's more comparable to like a Glock 26 than what it is.
The subcompact and subcompact XD Mod 2. It still has the same features as the other than the fact that the shorter barrel and shorter grip. With it's got a magazine though that has an grip adapter on it, to where you can use one full size magazine that comes with it. So I mean they've gotten XDs have gotten popular again thanks to this gun. Because really, as far as what I've noticed, sales have been really stagnant of the standard XD and the XDM. The XDS, as Terry was mentioning a while ago, which is a single stack subcompact, that sales of that far surpass the rest of the XDs as far as in current production that I can tell.
Anybody I know that owns one loves carrying it and likes shooting it. So.
Yes, yeah, I mean that's an excellent little gun. I've had this gun for quite some time, and it shoots very, very well, or I wouldn't own it. And of course I've added a Streamlight TRS. I think it's a TRS 2. I believe it is. Yes, TLR2 light and laser combo on it, and there's more weight with this gun because of that light and laser on there. But truthfully, it really helps keep your groups in check, because with that extra weight, it keeps the recoil down and helps this gun shoot even better than without it. But of course, finding holsters for XD tactical with a light on it is a pain.
Yeah, you're probably looking at something more along the lines of a custom kayak.
Yeah. And I'm seeing some holsters for these, because there is a slight difference in the guns. And as Terry and I looked at before, the slide and the frame on these are different. You cannot switch slides on these guns, and they will not work. There's a definite manufacturing change in the slides and frames of these two guns.
With this frame, it's almost like what they did was incorporate a lot of stuff that people do as far as like custom modifications. They've incorporated that into a factory model of a gun. A lot of people that buy Glocks will they'll shave off the ridges for the finger grooves, they'll stipple the frame, and they will undercut the trigger guard. Well, one of the things I really like about this is the fact that this trigger guard, it seems to fit and feel a whole lot better than what it does on my Glock or on this.
There's a drastic change. If you can see where I put my finger up to here, there's just a little depression right here, but right here, my
That's very
goodness.
aggressive.
Yeah, it's undercut a whole lot compared to what this one is. And you can see the difference in those two grips. The underlying design is there, but they've greatly changed that back strap and the front strap here.
Now, this one doesn't have interchangeable back straps. Do some of these have interchangeable back straps? I know these don't.
The XDM has got interchangeable back straps, and the XDS has got interchangeable back straps. These do not have interchangeable back straps on them.
One other thing, it may not make a difference to some people. It really doesn't make a difference to me. The trigger guard on this one is more Glock-esque, where it's squared off here on the front, and this one is rounded.
That's right.
What does your rail look like under the light?
It doesn't have as many grooves. I don't.
Now this has three slots.
3 slots in that Picatinny rail, and I think this one has one. Nope, yeah. It has one, and it's all the way out at the end, out here. And that one, it's got 1, 2, 3, slots right there. So it's more universal as far as what you can put on there. I mean,
smaller
this,
accessories
will fit on there fine. And also, just in seeing these two here, the recoil assembly on this gun to this gun is way different. This is just a single guide rod with a single spring, and this is a multi-piece guide rod with 2 springs. And it, the recoil of this gun is very manageable. The way it is with this one too, but it just seems like that gun's it's a pleasure to shoot. It's when you look at this one and you look at that one. Drop the slide on that there. When you look at them, here or here, there we go. You can kind of tell the big difference in the length of those barrels and so on. They say this is a 4-inch barrel. That's longer than a 4-inch barrel.
Yeah, it's
very, very close to a 5-inch. And I just don't understand in their catalog and everything that they describe this as a 4-inch gun.
Well, I mean, even on the box it says 4-inch.
4-inch. That's not a 4-inch barrel. The standard is a 4-inch barrel. standard XDM, or Mod 2 rather. Which, another thing, this gun in this configuration is the only full-size Mod 2 that you can get in Flat Dark Earth. You can get the subcompact in Flat Dark Earth, but you can't get a standard XD Mod 2 in Flat Dark Earth. Kind of unusual, but if you want a Flat Dark Earth full-size XDM, you've got to buy the one with the extended barrel. You know, they had several different you know, colors as far as in the standard XDs.
I like the green.
And yeah, that OD on this is very I don't know, it's an appealing, you know, color. It's not a, you know, bright green. It's not a, you know, terrible. It's a very neutral color. It's not a bad look to it at all. But we're gonna get these two out on the range, kind of do a little bit of comparison, and you know, I've got a lot of experience with this one, and Terry and I both shot this one before, but we're gonna do a little comparison shooting with the two and see what the difference is between the XD, you know, very early XD tactical, and the new XD Mod 2.
Oh, another thing that I actually think is pretty cool about these, they come with forward slide serrations from the factory.
Yeah, that's something they are doing on this, which, you know,
really easy
this
to do
one, believe
check.
it or not, on this tactical, they have that on there too. You know, so this is something that Springfield's been doing that a lot of people have been giving, you know, Glock down the road with putting out all of these guns that are optic ready. It's kind of hard to get a hold of them back here. Well, with the Springfield and a few other guns out there, they're putting slide serrations out here to where you can get a hold of it and not finger your optic up. You know, some people slide off and then all of a sudden they got a big handprint on the screen of their RMR or their Fast Fire 3 or whatever they're using for an optic on there.
See, I think it would be cool if these came optics ready from the factory, but as it is right now, what you would have to do would be replace your rear sight with a mount.
Yeah, they are currently making an XDM that is optic ready from Springfield. I've had my hand on one actually, and it had an olive trap frame, but it was the XDM. But it was a really appealing gun, and you know, another thing too with these, what I need to probably bring up is the make sure it's clear, the trigger pull on this gun compared to it's almost identical. I mean, nothing has really changed there. What do you think, Terry?
Yeah, I mean, the pull and reset on this are both great.
To me, it's almost identical.
Yeah, it does feel almost identical. Is there a difference between the two triggers here?
I don't think there's really any difference. I think that trigger style has kind of maintained between the two.
Yeah, they look pretty much exactly the same.
The XDM is a little different, but you know, it's kind of odd that they, you know, have stuck with this, you know, trigger configuration. But it does work. It does, you know, pull good. It's got a good flat face. It's a broader trigger than a Glock trigger, and it's steel. It is a steel trigger. That's one thing you don't have in a Glock. It's a steel trigger. You know, it's not plastic. All these other manufacturers have gone to something like that, and in this, they have maintained that steel trigger. Which, I mean, some people say, well, what's that matter? But you know, to me, if you got that much leverage right here, why not? I don't understand why they wouldn't want to do that.
We'll give you guys a close-up shot of both of these guns here together, and we'll see you on the range. Okay, we made it out to the range with the Springfield XD Mod 2 threaded barrel in 9mm, and let's get some trigger time on this and on the XD Tactical.
That's right. We're just going to put a few rounds through each one of them. Try this gun out and just kind of see how it compares to the predecessor.
I'm going to go ahead and run a magazine through the same target that Jeff was shooting at, and we'll get a couple different angles. Then we'll take a look at the target and see how we grouped on it.
All right, down at the target, as you can see, me with my first groups, this thing shoots like you wouldn't believe. Now, my cold hands, I started bringing it over, still shooting pretty good, but brought my group over. For some reason, Terry can shoot the gun. It just happens to be all right here. That is one impressive group, but it's not here. We got to work on that finger placement on that trigger for Terry, but I mean, the gun is putting them all in the same place. It is a shooter.
Yeah, I think if I get some more rounds through it, I'll be okay with it.
Oh yeah, and like I say, today's conditions aren't necessarily ideal, and you're still keeping it in, the target. It's just a nice little group off to the side
of it. Yeah, I still like the way the gun shoots.
Oh,
it's very smooth.
It's a great shooting gun.
Now it's time to take a few shots with the Springfield XD Tactical.
My turn for a few shots with the XD Tactical. Let's see if I do any better or if I'm able to hold my group a little more centered with this one. Let's check it out and see how we did at 5 yards.
So you can see, kind of started out really good, but the tail of my cold hands brought me down to the low left. And Terry was shooting down on the low left again. His last foray with his one-handed shooting brought him into the target some. But for the most part, this lovely cold day in my cold hands, it's bringing me down a little bit because I usually shoot that gun a whole lot better than that.
I'm not making excuses or anything, but I mean, we are both wearing coats, and I'm wearing gloves, and we've got layers on, so that may also be restricting our movement a little bit.
Yeah. Now the wind is terrible. My hands are frigid.
I think we've had enough of the cold today. Definitely going to put some more rounds through this, see if I can bring my group back to where it needs to be with it. I don't see that being a problem once I get, some more trigger time. As far as the way the two of these guns shoot, I actually like this. I like the way that it shoots.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty nice.
It's a good shooting gun. It's a good feeling gun, and you can tell a lot of the attributes from this was passed on to the Mod 2, and they're both great guns. I shot them both, pretty well. This gun was incredibly tight grouping for me. So it's proved itself to me, and Terry, just work at it.
I think this one actually shoots a little bit smoother.
Yeah, it does have a little less recoil than this gun does, actually. even with the addition of the extra weight, that's got a little less recoil, it seems. Maybe it's because of the new design grip that's on there. But other than that, thanks for watching.